Hello, and welcome back to Reaching for Rain Hope for the Storms of Life. I'm Cindy Mosley, author of Reaching for Rain Young People Finding Hope in the Storms of Life. Last week, I shared with you a story about a sixth grader named Donnie. Donnie was a victim of mean girls. She got her feelings hurt, but she refused to let the mean girls know that they had hurt her feelings, and she moved on with her life. She made new friends and created a way to deal with her pain and anxiety. This week's story is about a young man named Jeremy. Jeremy's story takes place outside of school, but what Jeremy goes through does affect his school life, and I hope you enjoy his story. Jeremy's Rain. I sat on the porch at my grandparents' house while two police officers talked to them in the living room. They thought it best if I waited outside. I thought it was probably about one of my parents because I hadn't seen either of them in almost a year. They were not together, but neither one of them was with me either. I decided I wouldn't be surprised about what they were going to tell me. My parents were always in some sort of trouble. I had made up my mind a long time ago that I was not going to be like them. I would make something of myself, and when I had children, I would be with them every day. I heard footsteps coming towards the door. The police officers stepped out onto the porch. One of them stopped and sat beside me. Jeremy, I'm Officer Deloach, and I wanted to give you my card. I want you to know you have someone on your side. If you ever need anything, call me. I would like to be your big brother. I know you don't have any brothers, so if you want one, I'm making myself available to you. He handed me his card, patted me on the shoulder, and left. I put his card in my pocket and went into the house. My grandparents were sitting on the couch, holding each other and crying. I knew something was seriously wrong. What is it? I asked. They both looked at me through tear-filled eyes. Granddad slid over and patted the couch between him and Gamma. She slid over and smiled at me. I sat down and held my breath. From the looks on their faces, I knew it was terrible. Granddad took a deep breath and said, Jer, we have some very sad news. Apparently, your parents have been spending time together for the last few months. They've been involved with some very dangerous people, and last night they were found dead in Pikes Point. I was shocked, but not really. I knew they did illegal things. That's why I lived with Granddad and Gamma. I wasn't expecting to hear that they were both dead, though. How did they die? I asked. The officer said it looked like a drug overdose, Gamma said, patting my hand. We're so sorry, Jeremy, she said, and then started to cry again. Gamma, it's not your fault. I felt so sad for her. She always blamed herself for my dad's stupid mistakes. I was old enough to know that no one makes you do anything you don't want to. My parents were old enough to know better. I hugged Gamma and looked at Granddad. What happens now? I asked. We need to call Jack and Phyllis to see what they want to do about funeral arrangements. They will want to see you, son. I know, but I'm not going to stay with them. Jack and Phyllis were my mom's parents. They never hid their feelings that I was the mistake that resulted from my parents' high school romance. They were nice to me, but I never felt they loved me. They seemed to always look at me with pity in their eyes. They never missed an opportunity to tell me not to be like my parents. I may only be in the eighth grade, but I know that I don't want to end up like my folks. The next few weeks went by slowly. We had my parents' funeral together. Then I started school. I was determined to make this my best year yet. This was my last year of junior high school, and I needed to make decisions about the future. Every eighth grader at our school had to take a career exploration class. One of our first assignments was to take a test that gave us suggestions about our future. From the test results, we started exploring the top 3 careers on the list. My results recommended that I explore law enforcement, the military, or social work. I didn't think I wanted to leave Granddad and Grandma, to go into the military, so I started with law enforcement. I remembered Officer Deloach. One day, when I got home, I decided to call him. I didn't think he would answer, but to my surprise, he did. He sounded glad to hear from me and asked if I wanted to go eat pizza. At first, I wasn't sure, but I'm glad I did. He really meant he wanted to be my big brother. He helped me with my career exploration project, and from that day on, we spent time together every week. He coached a little kids' soccer team and asked me to be his assistant. His wife was an acting coach at the local children's theater. She always had some type of building project for us. I'm in high school now, and I'm still friends with Officer Deloach and his family. I am now a big brother to one of the kids from soccer. His dad was a police officer who was killed in the line of duty, and I wanted to be there for him. And I'm so glad I didn't throw away Officer Deloach's card. I could easily have fallen into depression like some other kids I know at school, but I refused to fail. Junior high wasn't easy, but I found support through the hardest part of it, and now I can see my future very clearly. Jeremy's story is full of hope, and that's why I wrote this book, because I know lots of young people who feel hopeless a lot of the time, and they just need someone to let them know that hope, if you keep hope alive, you can succeed and you can get through things. When I wrote this book, I wrote a poem that's called Reach for Rain. It says, rain refreshes the earth, rain recolors landscapes, rain washes away the dust, rain cools the heat, rain replenishes ponds, rain inspires creativity, rain brings hope. Reach for hope, and I hope you tune in again next week for Reaching for Rain. Have a great week.